Yeah, wake up about at 6, think about money, think about this. I got nothing on my wrist, but I'll still gladly take your bitch. Ayy, who produced that beat? Yeah, ayy, yes sirree, I did. Ayy. 27 shows, I go through cities every now and then. I watch the crowd, they jumping, watching me. Cut 2 days ago, I'm just a kid, not old enough to smoke a cig, then wonder what's the recipe.
So the learning that I had for this morning is very related to that, and that is all about getting hungry for outcomes. Getting hungry for outcomes. It's, for me, I find when I set myself and I understand my clear goals, when I set my mind to something and I'm super clear on what I want to achieve, I just get hungry for it. And it comes back to like building on that framework of getting to do it versus having to do it. I find when you're doing it full in, it's easier. But when you dip your foot in, it's a lot harder. When you cannonball in, like going to the beach and it's cold, if you're fully in, it's just like, oh, I'm just used to the water temperature now. It just gets like that. When you're kind of half in, you kind of touch the water, you're like, yeah, shit, that's cold. And then you go into knee height, and then you go back, and then you go a little bit deeper, and it's like, shit. The whole experience is like really terrifying, because what I found is if I went a little bit into it versus committing 100%, then I found that every call was like this big stretch and this big deal. Whereas when I was doing it all the time, it was just the normal, because it was obsession. It was that hunger towards outcomes.
Mission.
I got diamonds on my fists and shit, diamonds on my wrist and shit, so icy, bitch, I'm colder than a freezer. Bling, loud. My main bitch, I'm 21. Side bitch, trippin', bitch, I love y'all both, but none of y'all ain't no keepers. I leave ya, Rolls Royce look like Jeepers Creepers. Made $1 million with Adidas, can't have a ticket, nigga, off my people.
So we're here with the amazing Jennifer, who's a success story from Compassion, the charity organization, someone who's come and defied the odds, essentially, to become a lawyer that works high up in the government in Kenya. And so it's an absolute honor to have you here, someone that's come through the Compassion program and succeeded too. So thanks so much for coming, Jennifer. What an amazing inspiration.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, for the young men and men in the slums and in poverty, they tend to resort to crime. Because it's a way for them to earn a living, so to speak. Because if they don't have, they have to get it from somebody else. And in the process of committing crimes, they are shot.
Yeah.
I know so many people, young men we were born with in the slums, they were shot when they were stealing.
By police?
Yes,
or?
by police.
Yeah.
Or they are lynched by mob justice.
Wow.
So if they go someplace and they steal, they are lynched and they die.
So yesterday, doing that interview with Jennifer, the amazing Kenyan woman who's gone through so much and such a beautiful ambassador for Compassion, but also for what's possible growing up in such a ridiculous situation. The biggest learning that I got from this is it's almost like it's a shock from the differentiation between cultures. Most 99% of people in Australia, 99% of the time, don't think about what's happening in other countries, me included. It's like I just assume that I don't even think about other people, I'm just thinking about myself. I'm thinking about my own map of reality, my own worldly view from living in this beautiful country. And to have the perspective of what other people go through and how crazily intense it is, it shines light on how lucky we are. And we just get up, and the worst case scenario for us is better than their dream. It's like our worst case is get paid by the government to be comfortable for them. That'd be a dream. Like, that would be the fucking best. And kind of puts in perspective how important it is for us to take some responsibility for the privilege that we've been gifted to live in this country and make a difference. So hustle hard, put in an effort to make a difference, and do the best that you can, because we're fucking lucky, and it's our right, our responsibility more so, to actually give back.
I go through cities every now and then. I watch the crowd, they jumping, watching me. Cut 2 days ago, I'm just a kid, not old enough to smoke a cig, then wonder.
So Jennifer, one thing that I find crazy, and this is even for me, it's so easy to lack perspective, because in Melbourne or in Australia or in the US or the UK, the worst case scenario for most people is that the government pays for them to stay comfortable. I mean, they live in a nice house, well, it's just in contrast to the shanty huts. It's just such a crazy difference. That's the worst case scenario for us. And what I'd like to know from you, just to give those that are watching some perspective, is what's the best case scenario for people who don't have the support of compassion who are living in the slums in Kenya? Like, what's the best case? What do people hope for on a daily basis?
People hope for just getting by. They don't dream of bigger things. They don't dream of having big houses or whatever. It's just dreaming for the basics. Like, I hope that tomorrow I'll wake up, have a meal. I hope that tomorrow I'll wake up and not be sick. Because if you're sick, you don't have money to go to hospital, then you die. And people die in the house. And another best case scenario people hope for waking up in the morning is that I will wake up in the morning and have some clean water to drink, because water is sold. And if you don't have money to buy that water, then you won't have it. So those are the best case scenarios, just the struggle for the basic human needs. So that these people, and also in my case, you don't dream of anything else because of what you're surrounded with. You're surrounded with a lot of poverty, a lot of lack, a lot of crime. So you find that these people, especially the young people, because they grow up in this environment of lack, so for them to try to earn a living, they have to resort to crime. So if I steal from people out there, then I'll have a meal in the evening. But if they don't do that, then they won't have a meal. So it also inculcates a culture of crime, a culture of alcoholism, also due to hopelessness and giving up. So in a way that they now resort to alcoholism to try and forget the world that they are living in, to forget the reality that they are living in. So I think people in the Western world are very privileged that they don't have to worry about the basic daily human needs.
100%.
So everything is provided for. You only need, like, if it's a hierarchy, people in the slums will be down here, and people in the Western world will always have a kickstart. So they will start life here.
Yes.
And you see there's a disparity and there's this gap.
Massive.
There's such a massive gap between those people that are living in poverty and the Western world.